Hello YouTube, it's William here with Copernicus Trains, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Rivarossi Southern PS-4. Alrighty, so just a bit of background on this locomotive. I don't know a ton of information about the prototype. I believe this is most similar to the one that is currently in the Smithsonian Institute, but in terms of Rivarossi collectors, if you have ever even looked at Rivarossi locomotives and sets, you will know that this is the rarest of all of their Southern Railway offerings, including the 282 Mikado, which sadly I do not have yet. So as soon as I got the chance to get one, I jumped on it. Even the dark version of the Crescent Limited, which is kind of blocking your view right now, which is actually the same color, funny enough, is easier to find than this guy, especially when it comes to at a reasonable price. As for how much this one costs, it was free. I got it for free because I did some service for one of my viewers, and he sent me this as opposed to like a cash payment or something. As you can imagine, when I received it, I was absolutely ecstatic, but man, oh man, did this thing have a whole host of issues, and it was an uphill battle the entire time to get it running. To be honest, I am very, very surprised it even runs at all, given the history of this particular locomotive. The only thing to note on mine is that it's missing the bell up top, but again, fairly unnoticeable. This is a Premier Production Run locomotive, 462 Pacific, of course, and these usually carry a price tag right around 150 bucks. So anyways, I'm going to move the camera out. We'll take a closer look at the engine and all of its detailing, and I'll explain the interesting things that have happened to this engine. Alrighty, so now that we're in motion, we can take a closer look at all of the really fantastic detailing on this engine. We have spoked drivers in the classic Rivarossi running gear, absolutely phenomenal. This one has the cab-mounted motor, but the big detailing is the silver boiler front and the superheater and piping located on the front, which looks absolutely fantastic. A couple extra amenities. We get a number board on the front of the headlight and on the sides. There's a white stripe painted along the pilot down there. And in general, it's just a fantastically detailed locomotive. Moving back to the cab, we have a beautifully designed Southern Railway emblem, cab numbering, painting, and all that. And then at the back, we have a dark green Southern tender. Now, behind this car, I'm pulling the Crescent Limited cars because it's very, very close to the prototype Crescent Limited. And this is essentially the last 462 Pacific that I needed to complete everything that I wanted for my Crescent set. I just need the 282 Mikado, and I'll have essentially everything Southern-based that I wanted from Rivarossi. But anyways, this engine, of course, I got it for free, but like I said, it was extremely difficult to get running, because I don't know how easy it is to see on camera, but this thing got hot at some point in time. And I mean it. It was likely stored in a hot place, because I'm going to have to pick it up for this. Take a look at how shiny the plastic is on this. You can definitely see it a lot better in light like this, but the entire engine was heated to some ridiculous temperature where it actually annealed the plastic. Fortunately, nothing major was compromised, but when I started working on this thing, the engine had literally fused the chassis to the shell. Not to mention the axle centers on one of these wheels was completely messed up. I don't remember which. If you look at the spokes right here, actually, you can see pretty well what it did to the locomotive. But anyways, the front driver set was binding so tightly, the engine couldn't move more than like a couple millimeters in either direction. So what I had to do was, after finally pulling the drive, going through the entire drive, everything on here had to come off. I actually had to use a blowtorch, no lie, to heat up a part of the wheel. Just a really quick lick with the flame, and then I had to bend the driver back into shape without popping the tire off. This was extraordinarily difficult to do, and it does run now. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the drive completely sorted, so there is a small limp in it, but it doesn't really show up on camera, but it just makes a lot of noise. This thing was in horrendous shape when I got it, and I'm quite frankly amazed it even runs at all. Alrighty, so before we go ahead and roll it out, I just want to give my final thoughts on the unit. Personally, I am happy with it, I guess. I'm pretty frustrated that it arrived in the condition that it did and how much work it took to get it working, but at the price I paid, quote unquote, for it, I really can't complain. It's a fantastic locomotive, and even though it doesn't run as nice as I would like it to, I'm just very, very glad to finally have one of these. And I'm going to treat it with care and respect, just like all the rest of my locomotives. But anyways, I just want to say, if you're watching, thank you so much for sending this to me, giving me the opportunity to own one of these, and for letting me fix those engines for you. I think it was a pretty fair trade-off in the end, because I got a locomotive I've really been wanting for a very long time. So anyways, let's go ahead and roll it out.